I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational, but that just wouldn't be our style.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it.
SportsTownChicago.com. Lombard, part of the Peon Air Network and available on the TuneIn app.
Hell yeah.
Broadcast home for your Windy City Bulls and the Chicago Dogs. We're in a league of our own. Now, here's your SportsTownChicago.com scoreboard update.
At 5 o'clock on Tuesday, September 24th, I am your host, Mike Napolitano, with your SportsTownChicago.com update powered by the Illinois Media School. If you're interested in a career in media, go to beonair.com. The Cubs are on the road tonight to face the 2024 NL East Division champion Philadelphia Phillies at 5:40 p.m. Chicago lost the first game of this series 6-2 last night, bringing them to 80-77. But this is a meaningless series in most aspects for both teams, as the 93 and 64 Phillies have already punched their postseason ticket and the Cubs have been eliminated from postseason contention. The only thing Philly can be worried about now is seeding amongst the NL division leaders, which will determine which wild card team they are paired up with. But it will not be the Cubs, so tonight is just batting practice for October for the Phils. The pitching matchup tonight is between 5-5 Justin Steele and former White Sox 2-2 Tanner Banks. Steele has a 3.03 ERA and 132 strikeouts in 130 2/3 innings pitched, as well as a 1.10 whip for the Northsiders this year. Tanner Banks has a 3.78 ERA, 75 strikeouts in 69 innings pitched, and a 1.28 whip for Philly. First pitch is at 5:40 p.m. at Citizens Bank Ballpark, and you can watch this one on Marquee Sports Network or listen along on AM 670 The Score. It was announced today that NBC Sports will come to an end as of September 30th here in Chicago, and the new network and home for the Bulls, Blackhawks, and White Sox, Chicago Sports Network, will be live after that date. Check with your carrier for streaming services to make sure that the transition is seamless and you have your Chicago sports. But this has been your SportsTownChicago.com update, brought to you by the Illinois Media School. If you're interested in a career in media, go to beonair.com.
Here to center for Taves. He got a breakaway. Taves to win the game. Hawks win. Hawks win. Jonathan Taves.
It's Hester inside the 30. Hester's going to take it all the way for a touchdown. Call your sons, call your daughters, call your friends, call your neighbors. Mark Burley has a perfect game going to the ninth. Trying to get open, fires away. Fire! It's over. The Bulls win at the buzzer. Wayne Wise makes the kick. What a play by Wise. Mercy. He goes. One to go. Here's Jason Cade. 2-on-1. Hustling back to point. Upper shot. Go! In overtime. Open. Chicago with the lead. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their second three-peat. Yes! Yes! History! To the net, they score! It's it! They score! The Hawks win the Stanley Cup! The Hawks win the Stanley Cup! A ground ball past Jenks up the middle of the infield. Uribe has it. He throws. Out! Out! A White Sox winner and a world championship! The White Sox have won the World Series, and they're mobbing each other on the field!
Binnington, Kurashev plays the rebound for Bedard down low.
Bedard! Lacrosse style scores! Unbelievable! Connor Bedard! Dude, that was insane.
Welcome in to another Tuesday here on Mike on the Mic. Just a reminder, as always, you can find me on social media. That's Mike Napolitano, MikeNapoletano on X, or Mike_Napolitano on Instagram, Mike Napolitano 5 on Snapchat. And while you're on X and Instagram, be sure to give a follow to both the Illinois Media School and SportsTownChicago.com. But let's jump right into our Bears news for the week in our football segment. Well, it's not looking like it was supposed to for this Bears team. Let's just put it that way. We left off with a very close loss to the Houston Texans. Many said that that game didn't look as close as it was, but I beg to differ. In that second half, the Bears got field goals and settled for points when they needed to, up with a very good Houston team. However, the Bears only lost by 13 loss. But here we are in week 3, and it will. Well, this one was more of an upset than the Houston game, but this was definitely upsetting for Bears fans. A loss in Indianapolis to the Colts as the Bears fall by one score again, 21-16. I'm at a loss for words with this Bears team because this was supposed to be a highly Bears were able to select Caleb Williams first overall. They got the steal at number 9 with Rome Odunze, and you have that rookie combination mixed with a bunch of veterans coming in like Keenan Allen, who, of course, as you know, is hurt and does not play for this Bears team right now. So what is there to be excited about? Cole Kmet finally got used in this game, but we haven't seen a whole lot of him in the first 2 weeks. There's just a lot to be left on the table with this Bears offense. The defense haven't had too much special teams. Haven't had too many issues other than maybe that week 1 against the Tennessee Titans. But this got the extra point on the kick, so it was a 7-0 lead right off the bat for Indianapolis. No offense for the Bears to be found in the first half of the game. So we go into the second half, and the third quarter, Cairo Santos has to take a 53-yard field goal. That is the third field goal in a row that he has had to take from 50 or more field against practically any defense in the NFL right now. And I mean, I'm going to get into it a little bit more as we go on here, but are you telling me that this offensive line is full of professionals? Because I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen it. I really haven't. There were a couple of really nice plays from Caleb Williams this past weekend. And I know there's a compilation out there of all of the completions that he made, all the times he chose to run the ball and get the yardage that the Bears needed to either get a first down or, slide in there just to get, keep himself safe and get the Bears, in good position. But wow is just this is bad. This is bad from this Bears offense. There was a play on the goal line in which the ball was handed off to the running back Swift, and he couldn't get anywhere. DeAndre Swift had to take it for a loss because, you know why? 5 Colts were coming at him. 5. Meanwhile, 4 Bears offensive linemen are laying down on the ground, basically on the goal line. They fell. One of them tripped the other. I mean, it's just, this is bad. This is bad football. I predicted that this team would go 9-8, and I thought I was being, conservative because the schedule looked a little easy And I thought, okay, all right, before I get ahead of myself and shout out the double digits in the win column here, let's just play it safe. 9-8. I think that gets the Bears in the playoffs. But they will come nowhere near playoffs if they play like this. The Bears finished with 3 wins last year. Doesn't look like it. Come back in game 1 against the Titans. That was all defense and special teams getting points for this Bears squad. Do the Bears really have a win? I praised the Bears for keeping it close with the Houston Texans last week. This was not the case. This was a one-score game, but this was not close at all. Is that the Bears finally did score an offensive touchdown other than a run play. It was a pass play. It was Rome Odunze, a 1-yard pass from Caleb Williams. However, then the Bears tried to go for 2 because at the time that put them only down 5 points. And then, of course, a field goal would tie. You can get a touchdown, and it's too much for the Colts to just kick a field goal to tie the game. So what I missed here was, okay, you remember we talked about that Cairo Santos 53-yard field goal. That made it 7-3. Indianapolis team would score a touchdown before the end of the third quarter. The Indianapolis Colts up 14-3. Rome Odunze gets that 1-yard pass from Caleb Williams, and it is now 14-9. No extra point because the 2-point conversion failed. And then the ball goes right back to the Colts, and practically 3 minutes later, another field goal. Another touchdown. This was a Jonathan Taylor 1-yard run. So his second touchdown of the day, 21-9. And the Bears do answer back with a 6-yard pass to Cole Kmet from Caleb Williams. And we finally get to see Cole Kmet in the end zone this year. But that is all for this Bears team. They scored that with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. There just wasn't enough time on this Bears team. Of course, last week it was losing a timeout on that really poor challenge. So some of the coaching calls have been bad, but I don't think any have been worse than the offensive coordinating. Some of these plays are just bad. Just awful. The Bears are trying to run the ball up the gut when the Colts have 7 guys on the line. That means there's an open receiver somewhere or a lack of coverage. That should be a pass play. That should be identified. And whether that, doesn't get identified by the sideline, maybe there's some inexperience on this Bears offense, and some of it may have to get pointed at Caleb Williams because there's no audible being called in that situation. There's no versatility with this Bears squad. And I don't see it getting better anytime soon. Caleb Williams in this one, he's 33 for 52 with 363 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, but he also had 2 interceptions. And when we look at the box score in 3 weeks, can you say Swiss cheese? This offensive line has not protected Caleb Williams at all. And yes, I threw some fault on Caleb Williams. And yes, it was deserved. But you know what? This man is doing everything he can to just survive. Because I'll tell you, 18-game season with this Bears team. he will be injured well before that. All right, moving on. This Sunday will be week 4. The Bears have another noon start. This time it's on Fox. So that's third. They are 1-2. They are 0-2 on the road. So they look exactly like the Bears do. The only advantage, though, is that the Bears will have this one at home. It's a noon start. As I mentioned, Bears are 1-2 and 1-0 at home. You're going to look at Matt Stafford against Caleb Williams. Stafford is 69 for 101 attempts this year with 754 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Caleb Williams, he is 70 for 118 with 630 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. So this will be a tightly contested matchup, and I don't say that in a good way. This one, as I said, will be at Soldier Field, so you'll get a chance to see the Bears if you didn't opening week. But let's talk about some other stuff going on at Soldier Field. It is the the Fire, not the Red Stars. And the Fire had 2 games this past week. That was a Wednesday game. The Fire were looking to stay in the win column after a loss, after a win against the New York Red Bulls. However, they followed that up with a 1-0 loss Wednesday night to the Nashville team. That's Nashville SC. The only goal scored by Sam Surridge in the 19th minute. And then this past weekend, the Fire took on CF Montreal in Montreal. Montreal was 8-10-12 after this one with 34 points as they take the 2-0 victory. Chicago is now 7-8-16 with 29 points. The 2 goals scored in the 21st minute, Joseph Martinez, and in the 74th minute from Caden Clark. So 2 losses for this Fire team, as I'm pretty sure their playoff hopes are all but squandered at this point, because if you look at the table, they're still sitting in 14th out of 15 teams after 31 games played. Their next matchup will be against Toronto. Toronto FC is 11-3-17. They have 36 points. That will be on 9/28 this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. This one will be at SeatGeek Stadium, actually, for the Fire returning home to Bridgeview and not in Soldier Field, most likely because of the fact that the Bears have a home game. Now let's take a look at the ladies' side of things. The Red Stars had a matchup this past weekend, and that was against the San Diego Wave. Of course, without Alex Morgan, as we cover for this one, though, as they fall 1-0 to the Fire as Ludmila scores in the 12th minute for the Red Stars, and they improve to 9-2-10 with 29 points. Their next matchup, of course, that one was in SeatGeek Stadium because Riot Fest had to be moved to Douglas Park. A little bit of scheduling conflicts there. But this next matchup will also be at SeatGeek on September 29th. So the Sunday, right after the Bears game, it'll be a 5 o'clock kickoff. The day after the Fire will have played on that same pitch. This one you can watch on Paramount Plus or NWSL Plus. They will be against the North Carolina Courage, who are 10-2-9 with 32 points on the season. As I said, the Stars are 9-2-10 with 29 points and 6th in the NWSL. Courage are sitting right above them at 5th. So this one could put the positioning on the line, as a win would give the Red Stars 3 points, and they would be tied with North Carolina. All right, well, that's enough football. I can't talk about this Bears team anymore, but oh wait, it gets worse. we have to talk about Chicago baseball, which is somehow even more terrible than Chicago football. Thank goodness we have hockey starting soon, and at least the Red Stars and maybe the Fire are bearable to watch. But I have baseball for you next here on Mike on the Mic.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Oh, dude, it's Tuesday. It's time for Mike on the Mic.
Woo-hoo!
Right here on Sportstown Chicago and Twitch.
Hump day!
This is your home for sports. SportsTownChicago.com.
Joe's Hot Dogs has been around since 1953, but I promise it's not old news. You don't have to like hot dogs to like Joe's on Plainfield Road in Joliet. Italian beef, hot dogs, shakes, and sides. My family's had a relationship with Joe's Hot Dogs for 3 generations. Golden fries with a tad bit of salt and the perfect amount of crunch come in a bag as big as your hand. And that's just small. For more on the menu, visit joeshotdogsjoliet.com, bringing that classic Chicago flavor to the suburbs. That's Joe's Hot Dogs across from CVS on Plainfield Road in Joliet.
At the football game, Jim shows the telltale signs of being wasted. He starts flexing for the camera. He refers to his muscles as gunboats. He screams, "How's this for a halftime show?" Jim streaks the field.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many to drive. But what if you've had just one too many to drive? Never underestimate just a few. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, the Ad Council, and this station.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and Windy City News Radio.
The Illinois Center for Broadcasting is now the Illinois Media School. We've been an institution in the Chicagoland area now for 30 years. Because the broadcasting world is always changing, so are we. Not only are we teaching radio and television production, but now you can learn all aspects of the media industry, like web design. You can even specialize in TV or film, sports broadcasting, and even sales. No matter where you are in the Chicagoland area, we have a campus near you. The Illinois Media School. Be on TV, be on radio, beonair.com.
Maybe that was money. Tell me that wasn't money.
Yo, check us out. We are the go-to guys. I'm your boy Space.
I'm your boy MC.
Check us out every Thursday
from 4 to 5 p.m.
We spitting all facts, all sports, all day.
Yes, sir. Who else you gonna go to in the clutch?
Lillard, long-range three, and it's good!
Keeping you up to date with all the latest sports news.
We are
the go-to guys.
Where else you gonna get all your sports news from?
You know,
SportsTownChicago.com.
St. Patrick's Day, the only day of the year that it's okay to not boo the Boston Celtics.
I will show you mercy.
SportsTownChicago.com.
What's up, sports fans? I'm Mike Napolitano, and you're listening to Mike on the Mic right here on SportsTownChicago.com and the TuneIn Radio app. Now back to the show. Welcome back in for our baseball segment here on Mike on the Mic, and well, it's not really fun here in Chicago, ever, is it, really? Let's start out with, I think, the better of the two teams. The Chicago Cubs had their season cut short this past week, as it was announced after Saturday's loss that they were eliminated from playoff contention. We left off on Tuesday with the Cubs losing to Oakland twice. Once on Tuesday and then once on Wednesday. A 4-3 loss followed by a 5-3 loss. And the Oakland Athletics, they take that rubber match and take 2 of 3 games against this Chicago Cubs team. games against the Washington Nationals. They got 7-6 win, and against this national team. Both the Oakland Athletics and the Washington Nationals struggling this year. Possible that didn't really happen with Oakland, but they take the first two Saturday. That bring the Cubs will not be in the playoffs this year. And it's kind of tough, especially when you consider Craig Counsell made some that comment. You're kind of patting yourself on the back. And trying to divert the attention from the fact that you didn't carry over that success a night that's last night, and that was a meaningless game for them. They lost that, which means the final 5 games, that'll be tonight and Assad. The Cubs will have an off day on Thursday, the final one of the they are not, of course, looking at a wild card or playoff. They are sitting lower than the Cubs in the division. The only team in the NL Central above the Cubs, and the only team in the NL Central going to this year's play. Well, we talked about the Bears. We talked about the Cubs. Working heavy in free agents Well, they need to. And because this is a 120 loss team. To tell you how fed up I am with this White Sox team, here I could show you I could show you my notes. I don't have any notes.
sportstown.net for your free credit check reports.
Blow the whistle on SportstownChicago.com. Mondays and Fridays from 2 to 3 p.m. as we talk NFL.
The game plan was really sound.
It's a quarterback league. It has been. It still is.
Franchise-defining quarterbacks.
College football.
Will Jim Harbaugh make it through the season as Michigan's head coach?
Some more Big Ten talk.
And here's some things you wouldn't expect.
I would have never expected that.
Get all of that and more on Blow the Whistle on SportstownChicago.com.
Testing. Is this thing on? Hello? Can you hear me? Guys? Somebody help. Hello?
Now back to Mike on the Mic on SportstownChicago.com and Twitch. Show here is not as funny as it typically is today because we are having some technical difficulties again with StreamYard. So let me know out there if you can hear me and show some love in the comments section. I can't see the comments section. Ball news, of course, the Bulls have done absolutely nothing in this off season as the Bulls Windy City Bulls, I believe, will be starting. Bulls do. When we look at the schedule for the actual Bulls, preseason begins in October. That's Tuesday, October. Not carry on into the playoffs as the Chicago Sky finish the Sky, the Washington Mystics, and the Atlanta Dream going into the final 3 games of the series or season, and the 8th position and would sneak into the playoffs to face the New York Liberty. However, that was not the case. They lost all of their remaining games. They went on a